I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1, go. We believe that while yes, awards have flaws, but at the same time, we believe any validation and any celebration and any discourse that comes from awards that comes to artists are inherently beneficial, and thus we ought to oppose because of such benefits. And we believe that the government case or the situation is unjustified. And first, I have 5 points of clarification for the government team. First, the Grammys, the Emmy, the BAFTA, etc. All the awards have different categories designed to give appraisal and validation towards a diverse array of art and their artists. We believe the main premise of the governing team is that the assumption that only certain artists get such awards, and even further, the awards are usually steered by popular vote. We believe that this is not the case, and we believe that awards are highly indicative of what the popular demand is, and we believe that they are inherently beneficial because, and this goes against the premise of the government team that awards are irrelevant because they actually have a huge amount of audience watching them. And second, whilst we do agree that we can perfectly judge something that is inherently subjective, we do believe that the function of awards in giving more awareness and spotlight towards certain forms of art that we believe justifies awards even with their flaws. And third, awards can help a lot in giving spotlight to a new artist to a major non-niche audience to where it will help artists a lot in growing. And the premise of the government team is that they just assume because most of the awards go to big artists, its lack of impact towards small artists is enough to justify regretting in it. And even in that case, we believe that small artists can coast by anyways with their very dedicated fan base, and it's only a good thing when they do win such awards. Like for example, when Father John Misty won an award, he went from I think around, hundreds of thousands of subscribers to listeners to around millions of listeners because of he won a Grammy, and we believe that this is beneficial in this case. And third and fourth, big artists are usually those with large reaches, large fan bases, and a sizable popular appeal because they make easily digestible good art or whatever. And but also in a lot of cases, big artists also employ the help of smaller artists as either producers, writers, background vocalists, like for example Drake, Kanye West, Guillermo del Toro, etc. And thus we believe that even with most commendations going to bigger artists, in the end they're still benefiting small artists which are the most prone to exploitation from big companies, and this will be relevant to my case later on. And fifth, smaller artists are characterized with usually more niche and experimental styles. We believe that in this case they cultivate a fan base that's very dedicated and very tied to the artist. We believe that whilst yes, they can subsist off that alone, we believe that words that can come to them are inherently beneficial as they can become empiric proof that and validation that which matters to most people alongside, especially executive in companies where they can negotiate for good deals and not be exploited because the companies will see that the quality in them and they will have more bargaining power. For example, like and Clemens for his writer credits and his 2020 releases and his nomination for a Grammy and how it has led to him collaborating with Lil Yachty, Beyonce, Kanye West, etc. And as such, moving on to my rebuttals, I have 2 points of rebuttal. First, regarding companies say that it will create harmful narratives. We believe that this is not assumptive and this is assumptive, and this is not the case as wording itself don't create harmful narratives surrounding the artist. And second, even further, understand that the harmful narratives won't happen. Understand that even in the status quo, the nominations are even celebrated because they at least show acknowledgement and a point where you have made it, and it's a decent enough spotlight to jumpstart artists' careers. And third, even further, we believe that the small backlash that may come from artists receiving quote-unquote underserved awards are itself causistic and insignificant, and even further, artists know their own merits, and there exists a safety net, the artists knowing their own merits, their own capabilities, their own art, and knowing what they deserve. For example, Adele winning over Beyonce in 2016. I don't know, her album is not as good as Beyonce and won by popular vote, and in the process gives adoration towards Beyonce. We believe that this will only happen in our case, and where awards are still held in respect and validation, and we believe this is exclusive and this is beneficial because this creates validation for artists and also gives good discourse and gives good popularity for all artists involved when awards are still held in respect. And second, cause that it would diminish artistry. First, this is assumptive because they only assume that everyone would would award chase, and this is not the case. And second, this won't happen because artists know their own niches, they know their own audiences, and they know their own interests and know why they succeeded, and they won't turn away from their where they came from just to win some awards that's uncertain. And third, we believe that even if it happens, it usually happens to artists who lack the sheer creativity, work ethic, and quality at where they have to resort to pandering, and even then, we believe that's fine as well, and it's an insignificant amount as the status quo supports you creating your own lane and you succeeding in it. And what are our goals? First, we achieve a spotlight and commendation of artistry alongside discourse, and second, a beneficial award system. And as such, in this debate, we'd have to move us to why the proper way is to not target awards for such art, and furthermore, moving on to our argumentation that being first, why awards still matter, and second, why it supports artists and the industry. Now, panels, we believe that in the end, my first argument, awards still matters and it's still important for us to support awards to ensure its quality. See, the main premise of the case of the government team is that awards are just bad. We believe that this is not the case, and even if it is, we believe that they are still important in the end. How so? It's a popular form of an acknowledgement of artists that has a wide reach. Millions of people each year watch the Grammys and watch the Emmys, and that millions of people, if they are aware of whatever award you're nominated for and even wins in as an artist, are millions of potential new audience for you to grow your fan base with. And even further, we believe that awards gives validation towards people, even if they admit it or not. And thus we believe it's important to support awards. And why is that so? Because we believe that supporting awards and not getting it will lead to its quality. Expectations and pressures, it will force awards to improve so as to not force further decline, right? So essentially, awards will put on good art to lots of people if they will let them. And instantly that we demand good quality nominations, and we believe that this is beneficial on our case. And how will that happen? First, what shows interest are in trust and viewership of audiences. Now, they naturally want to make choices that the public will acknowledge them and will give them viewership and interaction for. And second, in this case, we believe that by showing that the main audience are interested in awards, given the good artistry and their positive expectations towards those award shows, there will be pressure in the awarding committee who are also a part of the public are conscious to vote what they see as quality. And third, and when such good art wins, we put them on to people who previously won't know about such good art, and we also put them in the public conscience and narrative and discourse to where they'll be continuously demanding for quality in awards, and also giving more adoration to the artists who won such awards or even just be nominated for such awards. And even further, we believe awards are useful especially for small artists, and they will get those awards like smaller awarding ceremonies like the BET for black minorities and plenty of film festivals. And in that, it gives their niche validation in the face of companies. And we believe this is important and exclusive in our case because in the status quo, a lot of smaller artists are exploited by large companies, right? And we believe that this gives them more leverage and more dealing ground so that they will not be exploited off. And we believe this is validation to where companies will see the success in them and invest as they see it as safe and validated by public awards. And thus we see it fit to support awards because it will support the plight of artists in the status quo. And moving on to my second argument, we believe it will support the artists and the industry for comparison on our side. First, more quality in the public art conscious awards promote and put a spotlight on good art. This becomes a loop as the public is conditioned to good awards. They'll constantly demand it, and the awarding shows will follow. And second, artists push more towards creating good art as they see what wins awards, and they will want to win award because it's a good jumping off point for their careers, and it's also validations which they originally have, but they naturally as humans want more, right? And three, validation for artistry and even the more niche kinds, and supports discussions and discourse regarding art because of such awards, which is beneficial. And this is exclusive to our case as award shows are hard to create, hard to sustain, and they won't have any alternatives that will facilitate big discourse on their side. And fourth, artists have a form of impact validation that they can use to deal with companies, useful in very capitalistic and very exploitative status quo. And fifth, bad impact discourse because our bad impact. Well, yes, maybe you have negative discourse because art didn't win award, art A didn't win award B, but in the end, still beneficial because it puts a significant spotlight and puts it in general discourse. And six, bad impact. Certain artists not acknowledged, but usually smaller, but that's because they have their own style and their own niche audiences, but which are really bad impact, and usually they're still picked up by small awards with their own validation that matter. And seventh, we believe that will be more inclusive on our case because there will be artists that want to be validated by lots of people, and we will accommodate them with awards, and there will be artists that want their own validations by their own fans, and we will accommodate them by giving them the choice as well. And on their side, their awards will be less valid. There may be less pandering for awards, but we believe this is harmful because awards become either less quality or have less urgency or importance, where when they do nominate good awards, it's unheard of, and it will just be harmful for the artists. And as such, I like to close my case, and we believe that this will be beneficial on our case because we have discourse, we also have validation, and this will be better on our case. Thank you.